Hey, I'm Dan with Cali Raised, and today we're going to show you how to install the interior rear MOLLE system for the 2025 Toyota 4Runner. Before we get started, let's make sure that we have all of our tools and hardware, and then we can get going. So you're going to want to make sure you have 4 different spacers. The longer ones are 29/32, and the shorter ones are 11/16. For the M6 bolts, we're going to have 2 40mm and 2 55mm. Moving on to our 1/4" hardware, we are going to have 28 5/8 button head screws with 38 3/4" button head screws, 104 1/4" washers, and 38 1/4" lock nuts. You also need 2 5/16" long flanged head bolts. You're gonna have 2 5/16" nylon inserts and 4 1/4" washers. You're gonna need a 1/2" socket, a 5/32 Allen key with a ratcheting wrench. You're gonna need a 7/16 box end wrench or just a 5/32 Allen key. For convenience, I'll be using a power tool with a 3/8 head adapter. First step, we're going to assemble, then install the driver and passenger side of the MOLLE panel. So what you'll need is the main MOLLE panel section, the upper bracket, the lower bracket, and the upper shelf support. The hardware we're gonna use is going to be our M6 hardware and our 1/4" hardware. So first we are going to be attaching this lower bracket to this side of the panel with our 3/4" long bolts. Put a washer on the back side with our lock nut. And you do that for all 4 holes. Lastly, I'm going to tighten these down and we'll proceed to the next one. All said and done, this is what it should look like. Next step, we are going to be attaching the upper shelf bracket. You're going to be using your 5/8 long hardware. Go ahead and start running it into the panel, and we'll come back and tighten that down. Be sure to make sure this notch is where the hole to attach the upper bracket is. When you're all done, this is what it should look like. Next, we're going to install the upper bracket. We're going to be placing this behind the panel with our 3/4" long 1/4" bolt placed through. Put a washer on the back side. Tighten that down. Try to center it as best as you can. This is what it should look like when the upper bracket is installed. This is what your panel should look like when it's fully assembled. Now that we have the panel fully assembled, we're gonna do the same thing to the passenger side and then install it into the vehicle. So to begin, we're gonna have to remove some factory plugs. We've already done that. So you have a cargo net hold there. You're gonna turn that so it's vertical and then it'll pull right out. We have a plastic grommet here. You're going to unpop the plastic with a pry tool or a pick, and that'll expose here. Lastly, we have a garment hook. We're gonna pop the retainer in there, twist it, and it should come right out. We've already installed the nylon insert, but there's an opening in the back. We'll just go ahead and press that in to install that. So to start, we're gonna insert the shorter M6 on this back side with the shorter spacer behind it. Then we're gonna lift the panel into place. You gotta find where those threading are. Now that'll help us install the other 3 bolts. So now that we've installed this side, we're gonna go ahead and repeat the same process to the other. Next, we are going to be installing the upper shelf into the MOLLE panel system. For this section, you're going to need the passenger upper shelf, the driver upper shelf, the connector plate, the back shelf plate, the passenger backer plate, and the driver backer plate. First step, I'm going to be putting the connector plate over either the passenger or driver side of the upper shelf. And we're going to insert our 3/4 inch bolts into the sides on both sides. From there, we're going to flip it over to tighten down the lock nuts. Next, we're going to flip this on its side. So then we can install the other 3/4 inch bolts into these slots. And then install the lock nuts on the back side. Next, we're going to tighten down all these bolts. We're going to slide this plate all the way out and tighten them that way. This is what it should look like once it's been attached. We're going to go ahead and repeat the same process to the other side of the shelf. Just remember to have the threaded inserts towards the front of the vehicle. Next, I'm going to put the upper shelf back onto the shelf using the 5/8 long hardware. We're going to do the same thing to the other side. Again, using the 5/8 long hardware. Next, we're going to be attaching the connection plate for the shelf backing. Once it's fully assembled, this is what it'll look like. Now that we have this put together, we're going to go ahead and install it into the vehicle. So to install the top shelf, you're going to pick up one side, put it underneath the bracket, push the tabs into the MOLLE panel, and then thread these 3 bolts. And then repeat the process on the other side. So now that I've got those bolts loosely into place. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten it down. Next, we're gonna install the lower shelf for the MOLLE system. You will need 2 lower shelves. The upper and lower shelves are assembled the same way with the middle bracket. So you're gonna wanna have your shelf partially assembled with that support bracket, and then you're gonna have to install the shelf inside of the 4Runner. So you're gonna wanna grab a support for your shelf. You're gonna set one side on the armrest, the other piece in the middle, and then you're going to be setting the other side on the armrest and then on top of the connecting bracket. So I'm gonna go ahead and install this together by using the 1/4 inch, 3/4 long bolt. We're just gonna bring this level and try to force it down. I'm gonna set that in and do that for all 3 of the bottom. Now that they're all loosely in place, I'm gonna go ahead and install the sides, passenger and driver, and then we'll tighten down the rest of these bolts. Next, we're gonna go ahead and install one of the sides. I'm starting on the passenger. You're going to lift the panel up and thread it into the side panel. And this is what it should look like. So we're gonna go ahead and repeat the same steps to the other side. Now that we have installed the panel loosely, we're gonna go ahead and tighten down the sides first and then the center. And that's how you install the interior MOLLE panel system for the 2025 4Runner. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, as well as CaliRaisedLED.com.